Welcome to episode 59, Microsoft Part 1, 4 Self-Made Billionaires and the Founding of Microsoft. This is an outline of episode 59. There are 3 reasons why we study Microsoft. First, because Bill Gates has been the richest man in the world for the past 20 years. Second, because Microsoft is easily the most profitable tech company the world has ever seen. Third, because the founding and culture of Microsoft is quite unique among startups. Where did it all begin? Rome was founded in 753 AD by a pair of wolf babies, Romulus and Remus. Microsoft was founded by teenager Bill Gates, age 19, and his high school buddy Paul Allen. Sorry, no wolf babies here, just geeks. Soon, Bill Gates and Paul Allen hire a bundle of hippies, nerds, and geeks. Microsoft is easily the best company for employees. Microsoft created 4 self-made billionaires, 12,000 millionaires out of its employees. Why? Because Microsoft did not use venture capitalists. IBM was the evil computer empire, meaning the monopoly, in the 1970s with its massive mainframe, and everyone in IBM dresses in blue. The story of Microsoft was a story of the PC revolution that turned the world of computers upside down. In turn, Bill Gates created the new evil empire and almost killed IBM and Apple Computer. We start with Bill Gates. In his teens, 20s, and 30s, software was his life. He delayed marriage until the age of 38 just to concentrate on software.
Which role do you prefer when you think about it in reflection, as a philanthropist or as an entrepreneur?
Well, for me as a young man, age 20 to even 50.
Does age make a difference?
Oh,
here?
I think so. I wanted to build software. I loved software. My life was about software. I even waited quite late to get married and have kids because I was so fanatical about software. I learned a lot during that software career.
Software was more important to Bill Gates than Harvard University, more important than girlfriend and family.
Radcliffe was a great place to live. There were more women up there, and most of the guys were math science types. The combination offered me the best odds, if you know what I mean. That's where I learned the sad lesson that improving your odds doesn't guarantee success.
And software is going to change the world. Bill Gates is right about this. Who is Paul Allen? Paul Allen is the idea man behind the founding of Microsoft in 1975. In the beginning, Allen took more risk, more actions than Bill Gates. Unfortunately, Paul Allen had cancer in 1983 and quit Microsoft, leaving Bill Gates to run the company solo.
He was a college dropout working in Boston, and one day he spotted a magazine announcing a new small computer called the Altair. He ran to show it to his friend Gates, then at Harvard.
I said, here, look at the magazine. This is the computer we've been waiting for. Yeah, and it's amazing to think back then, nobody had personal computers. I mean, there were computers in universities and research labs and in corporations, but nobody had personal computers.
Allen's idea was to write software that would enable the Altair to work as well as those large computers.
And so we called up the company that made it and said, well, we can demonstrate this software for you very, very quickly. Are you interested? And they said, sure, if you can really show up and demonstrate it.
Bill Gates and Paul Allen bluffed their way into founding of Microsoft. They did not have anything.
Did you have software?
No.
You had nothing.
We had nothing.
So they spent the next 8 weeks at Harvard feverishly writing code, but without an Altair to test on. Allen writes that because Gates looked like he was 13, they decided Allen should go alone to pitch their software.
Bill Gates and Paul Allen went to the same high school. They programmed together. Paul Allen is 3 years Gates' senior. In terms of temperament, they could not have been more different. Allen is quiet and reserved. Gates is loud and rambunctious.
This is a picture of Allen when he was 15 and met a boy at his private school in Seattle, 2 years his junior, named Bill Gates.
Allen and Gates were great friends. The two reportedly saw 500 movies together. Allen and Gates also failed together in high school in their first business venture.
It's not the first company Bill Gates founded. In fact, his first company had nothing to do with computers. Before Microsoft, there was Trafo Data, which specialized in creating products that processed raw information gathered from daily traffic encounters and made reports for traffic engineers. However, this venture was a failure. An important demo of the Trafo Data 8008 didn't work, an event which caused Gates and his business partners to dissolve the company entirely.
Next, who is Steve Ballmer, the third billionaire of Microsoft? He was a classmate of Bill Gates at Harvard University in the 1970s. In 1980, Bill Gates convinced Steve Ballmer to drop out of Stanford MBA.
But I also want to be recognized as the guy who got Steve Balmer to drop out of business school.
Sadly, Steve Ballmer was brought in to replace the sick Paul Allen, who had contracted cancer.
Allen was miserable and felt he was being marginalized. And then things got a lot worse. He got cancer. One night he passed by Gates's office and overheard him talking with Steve Ballmer, who'd been hired to help run the company.
What were they saying?
They were basically talking about how they were planning to dilute my share down to almost nothing.
Steve Ballmer is a supreme salesman with incredible energy and great salesmanship.
Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Balmer! I have 4 words for you. I love this company. Yes! Developers, 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 developers. Developers, 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 developers. Yes!
Steve Ballmer also brought in a new dimension to Microsoft marketing. He's the suit and tie man of Microsoft, while the other Microsoft employees look more like hippies and social rebels. Steve Ballmer could handle IBM, the big blue. Now, Charles Simonyi, the Hungarian immigrant. Simonyi was born in Budapest, Hungary in 1948. Because his dad was a professor, he had access to the Soviet mainframe computer, and he was programming at age 16. In the US, he graduated from UC Berkeley and earned his PhD in computer science at Stanford University while working for Park Xerox. More importantly, Simonyi was one of the founding fathers of what you see is what you get, or the GUI for software.
This is me, and in 1963, 67, I arrived to Berkeley. Details. So, at Xerox, I ran into this guy, Alan Kay, what Alan called the interim Dynabook. So this is the interim. Before we get all that goodies, Dean mentioned that I went to met Bill Gates in 1981, and we had a great time.
Simonyi's greatest contribution to Microsoft is by creating 2 cash cows. The 2 cash cows are Microsoft Excel and Microsoft Words. These 2 software applications together have more than 500 million users, mostly from corporations, and generated more than $250 billion profit to Microsoft bottom line in the past 30 years. What have I learned today? There are 2 co-founders and 2 key recruits in the first 6 years of Microsoft. Steve Ballmer and Charles Simonyi are almost as important as Bill Gates and Paul Allen, mainly because Paul Allen quit after he contracted cancer in 1983. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and leave your comments and questions below. My next video will be Microsoft from college dormitory to evil empire. Wishing everyone peace and prosperity.